Chapter 28. For there is a mine for silver, and a place for gold which they refine. Iron is taken out of the dust, and brass is molten out of the stone. Man setteth an end to darkness, and searcheth out the furthest bound of stones, of thick darkness, and of the shadow of death. He breaketh open a shaft away from where men sojourn. They are forgotten of the foot, they passeth by. They hang afar from men, they swing to and fro. As for the earth, out of it cometh bread, and underneath it is turned up, as it were by fire. The stones thereof are the place of sapphires, and it hath dust of gold. That path no bird of prey knoweth, neither hath the falcon's eye seen it. The proud beast have not trodden it, nor hath the lion passed thereby. He putteth forth his hand upon the flinty rock. He overturneth the mountains by the roots. He cutteth out channels among the rocks, and his eyes seeth every precious thing. He bindeth the streams, that they trickle not, and the thing that is hid bringeth he forth to light. But wisdom, where shall it be found? And where is the place of understanding? Man knoweth not the price thereof, neither is it found in the land of the living. The deep saith, It is not in me, and the sea saith, It is not with me. It cannot be gotten for gold, neither shall silver be weighed for the price thereof. It cannot be valued with the gold of Ophir, with the precious onyx, or the sapphire. Gold and glass cannot equal it, neither shall the exchange thereof of vessels of fine gold. No mention shall be made of coral, or of crystal, yea, the price of wisdom is above rubies. The topaz of Ethiopia shall not equal it, neither shall it be valued with pure gold. Whence then cometh wisdom? And where is the place of understanding? Seeing it is hid from the eyes of all living, and kept closed from the fowls of the air. Destruction and death say, We have heard a rumor thereof with our ears. God understandeth the way thereof, and he knoweth the place thereof. For he looketh to the ends of the earth, and he seeth under the whole heaven, when he maketh a weight for the wind, and meteth out the waters by measure, when he made a decree for the rain, and a way for the storm of thunders. Then did he see it, and declare it, he established it, yea, he searched it out. And unto man he said, Behold, the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom, and to depart from evil is understanding. All right, let's go on back up. Verse 1. Remember, yes, in the last chapter, Job has taken back up his parable. This parable, a parable is a way of looking at things which we can physically see, the earth and all things we have in it. We can use anything as a similitude. We can compare things together, and that's what a parable is. It's a comparison of things that we understand, that we can use to make known things that we don't understand, or things that are unseen, or things that we are trying to relay in an understanding. But Job took up his parable, and Job knows that God is almighty, and whether we are in this affliction of the flesh has really nothing to do with the inner man. The inner man, he maintains his abilities. It keeps its youth, so to speak, inside. But the man on the outside, he begins to grow old, and this is the way it is. But this is not a result of sin. This is just a natural way things work. But now the godless man doesn't have any hope. He doesn't have the hope of the soul, or the spirit, so to speak, because he doesn't call on God. He doesn't recognize the authority of God. He doesn't recognize God's understanding or the wisdom of God that's in the earth. He just goes forth without understanding, thinking everything is for a gain here, that everything is for riches and gold, to lay it up and to keep it. But that's not what it's for, and that wasn't the whole plan even in the beginning. Men actually would create these things. These would be things of men, and where a fleshful understanding takes over. Things that really are relative to the spirit are controlled, we'll find out, by these men who don't have understanding of the spirit. But these would be the wicked, these ones that are referred to as him. Their time is appointed. See, it's only for a season. It's just like when a man builds a booth in the field to tend it and watch over it. See, the harvest is going to come, and his job's going to be done, and there'll be a next year when he's needed again, or the next greater understanding. We'll find out these would be things that God controls, and we're going to pick it up here in verse 1 with, "For there is a mine for silver and a place for gold, which they refine." And there is a mine. A mine is up, and we're going to, as we go through Job here, this 28th chapter, we're going to find out this is a hole they dig in the ground. This is a mine where they mine for gold. They mine for everything they can find there. It's a place for gold. That's those things we're going to find out that belong to God. See, those things that refer to that which belongs to God. And the silver, well, that's God's too. See, all those things belong to God. 2, iron is taken out of the dust, and brass is molten out of the stone. Iron is taken out of the dust, and the dust is the earth but when it's dry. See, when the earth is dried up, it is dust, and with them, that's the moisture gone from within, the water gone from within, the understanding is left, and all that is dust. It's the flesh. See, iron is taken out of it. And iron, that's rule. That's the rules. It's laws. It's ordinances of men. And brass is molten out of the stone. The stone is that which is established. It's set there. It's a marker, so to speak, kind of. It's an established thing. But this brass, this ain't brass. This word here is nehushah. Nehushah is what we're referring to as copper. It's copper, not brass. Brass is a mixture of copper and zinc. And copper and zinc don't come out. They may come out of the stones, but they aren't molten together out of them. They are achieved or retrieved separately. Brass is cold darkness, see? And that would be the mingling in of the copper and zinc. 3, man setteth an end to darkness, and searcheth out the furthest bound of the stones of thick darkness, out of the shadow of death, and of the shadow of death. See, man sets an end to darkness. He has searched out the limits of darkness. And darkness is to be the absence of light, the absence of understanding. He has searched out every way of darkness. We're talking about these mine shafts here, literally. See, where they dig under the ground, they search it all out. It's all darkness under there. But men have no fear of this, and we'll find out there's even the shadow of death hanging over them constantly. Used as a comparison here. And what they're searching out is for wealth. 4, he breaketh open a shaft away from where men sojourn. They are forgotten of the foot that passeth by. They hang afar from men. They swing to and fro. He breaks open a shaft, this mine shaft, that goeth in into the earth, and it goes away from where men sojourn, away from where men are, away from where men normally work with the multitudes work. We'll find out these are those beneath your feet working in darkness. And they sojourn there. They are forgotten afoot that passes by. Nobody thinks about them. See, nobody has remembered them. We can't see them, and we know not that they're beneath us working. Foot, that's those paths that you're on, and they hang afar from men. They swing to and fro. Far away from men do they hang, and we'll find their life's in the balance thereof, and they swing to and fro, back and forth, back and forth. 5, as for the earth, out of it comes bread, and underneath it is turned up as it were by fire. And as for the earth, that's the earth. The earth is all things, even flesh. Even the flesh is earth. Out of it comes bread, this substance, this nourishment. And from underneath it is turned up. So it's turned up just like it were by fire. This fire should be more like a volcanic action. Like the way a volcano brings things to the surface, that's what they're doing down there. And they're bringing up these things that are beneath the earth out of the darkness. 6. The stones thereof are the place of sapphires, and it hath dust of gold. The stones thereof are the place of sapphires, precious stones. These things that are established there, they are things of precious stones. There's dust of gold, and that dust even fine. It's like there's riches, there's treasures there. 7. That hath that path no bird of prey knoweth, neither hath the falcon's eye seen it. And that path or that place where they're sojourning there, there's no bird of prey knows it. Well, there's no prey there. See, the prey is the booty, and that's what men are searching for. They're digging for wealth, they're digging for gold, but they're not searching for the understanding of God. Why, well, that's not where it would be found. The line is not passed by there, the great line. Well, these because they're in pits that they've dug. 9. He putteth forth his hand upon the flinty rock. He overturneth the mountains by the roots. He putteth forth his hand upon the flinty rock. His hands, or his works, his abilities, upon the flinty rock, that hardened stone, that stone that's hard. He's doing that which is hard, see, and he overturns the mountains by the roots, because he's underneath them, digging. These mountains, these are the high places. And they overturn them by the roots, by that which they're established. 10. He cutteth out channels among the rocks, and his eye seeth every precious thing. He cuts out channels among the rocks. He digs through the rocks. He digs through the stones. His eyes see every precious thing. Everything that has a value. Everything that has value according to men's understandings, we should say. Everything that's going to bring you wealth. Everything, well, as far as they're concerned, it's going to bring you happiness. 11. He bindeth the streams that they trickle not, and the thing that is hid bringeth he forth to light. He bindeth the streams, these waters, and they trickle not, so that they don't run. And man has that ability to bind up the streams. We've been doing it for thousands and thousands of years. And the thing that is hid bringeth he forth to light. And this thing that is hid, which was beneath the ground, that no one's seen, no one looked upon it. Why? They had to dig it up. He bringeth it forth to light. These things that were down under the earth, he has exposed. He has caused to be understand those things that were hidden. 12. But wisdom, where shall it be found? And where is the place of understanding? But now as for wisdom, what is wisdom? Wisdom is the ability to exercise knowledge and understanding. Understanding comes from God. It's in the law. Knowledge is to know it, to understand it for your own good. And the wisdom is to apply it into your life. 13. Man knoweth not the price thereof, neither is it found in the land of the living. Man doesn't know the price thereof. What's it cost? What's knowledge cost? What's wisdom cost? Well, we find out man has one knowledge, man has one wisdom, and you can go to college and pay out money to get a piece of paper to say you know something. You're going to know it with or without the piece of paper. It's the piece of paper you're buying, because it's a license to practice that which somebody says you know. It doesn't necessarily mean you know it. See, there's always going to be good doctors, there's not so good doctors. See, there's good lawyers, there's not so good lawyers. Why? Well, they've all been to school. Why don't they all have one understanding? Why ain't they all one way? See, because it's the knowledge of men. And the knowledge of men doesn't necessarily mean you have any. So man doesn't know the price of knowledge. Knowledge he says he has, we'll find out. There's several different knowledges. Neither is it found in the land of the living. And knowledge is not found in the land of the living. Why? They don't practice it. These places where they live, they don't practice knowledge. They don't practice the application of understanding and have wisdom. We'll find out they got their own knowledge. They got their own set of rules. They got their own understanding. 14. The deep says, it is not in me. And the sea says, it is not with me. So the deep is those places of the sea that are hidden, unknown. They are so deep that nobody knows if you can go there. At least at this moment in time, men are constantly trying to reach, but it'll be a while before they get there. It's easier to get into space than it is to get into them places. The deep says, though, it's not in me. I don't got it. I ain't got no knowledge. I ain't got no wisdom. There ain't no understanding here. And the sea, all the waters are understanding. The waters are knowledge. See, and those of the sea are those that are salted. And that's because they got to be purified. They've come from the earth, and they're polluted. And the salt is going to purify or make clean because it has to be distilled and come forth as rain again on the earth. See, it's the course of the rains we'll find out about. See, God set these things in motion. These things are a similitude. These things are a parable we can use to gain understanding. And even the understanding of these waters, why they're here. 15. It cannot be gotten for gold, neither shall silver be weighed for the price thereof. But it cannot be gotten for gold. You can't buy it. Neither shall silver be weighed for the price thereof. There ain't a price on it, this silver. That's going to pass through the fire, see. You can't weigh silver out for it. It doesn't work. Gold ain't the price. And gold's those things that belong to God. All the knowledge of everything ain't going to, of those things ain't going to bring you anything. See, God has the knowledge, and God has the wisdom, and God has the understanding, and He give you some in the beginning for your own good. 16. It cannot be valued with gold of Ophir, with precious onyx, or the sapphire. And it can't be valued with gold of Ophir, just pure gold. This gold that doesn't have to be refined in any way. It comes out of the ground in its pure, natural state. You can't value it with gold. I mean, you can't buy it with that. If that won't buy it for you, how can you use that to say, well, it's worth this much gold? And that's what he's saying. Or it's worth this much precious onyx or any precious stones. See, any precious stones. You can't say, well, we could weigh out 1,000 diamonds and you could get you some understanding, because that's not going to work. 17. Gold and glass cannot equal it. Neither shall the exchange thereof by vessels of fine gold. Gold and glass, it cannot equal it. Gold and glass, this glass here is fine glass, more like a crystal glass. They cannot equal it. I mean, there's no value of it, in other words, for wisdom or understanding. 18. No mention shall be made of coral or of crystal, yea, the price of wisdom is above rubies. So wisdom is above all things man knows value of. These things he digs in the earth for. All for wealth. It's all wealth. Men dig in the earth for, and they cut out these mines into the earth, and all things of the earth, even that of flesh. See, men dig out places there for gold, where he can rule over men. He can have authority over men. This one that has escaped, this one that's hiding. The topaz of Ethiopia shall not equal it, neither shall it be valued with pure gold. The topaz of Ethiopia. This precious stone of darkness. This Ethiopia is Cush. And it's darkness. It's a place of darkness. These precious stones there of darkness. I mean, these things that glitter in the darkness. These little flickerings of light we may see in the darkness. Can't equal it. Neither shall it be valued with pure gold. There's no price. You can't say the value of it. Whence then cometh wisdom? And where is the place of understanding? 20. Where then cometh? Where did you get it from? If you can't buy it, if you can't go any place that we know of and get it, whence cometh wisdom? And where is the place of understanding? Where does it reside? Where can it be found? 21. Seeing it is hid from the eyes of the living, and kept close from the fowls of the air. Seeing now it's hid from the eyes of all the living, nobody can find it. They've dug through all the earth looking for it, and all they can come up with is this junk, gold and silver, and precious stones, and copper, and iron, and all this garbage they keep bringing up out of the earth. Well, see, because they can't find wisdom and knowledge there. It's not there. It's closed off from the fowls of the air. These fowls, these birds of prey that swoop down, and we'll find their shadow of darkness and death under their wings. 22. Destruction and death say, we have heard a rumor thereof with our ears. Destruction and death. Destruction and death, if they could speak even, and well, I guess they do speak in a manner of way, without word. We can see them and just use them as an example. But they say we have heard a rumor thereof with our ears. Our ears have heard a rumor. We've heard this, and not knowing where, but the rumor we have heard. 23. God understands the way thereof, and he knoweth the place thereof. God understands the way thereof. God knows where it's at. And he knows the place thereof. He will find out because it's with God. God has it. God has the understanding. God has the knowledge. God has the wisdom. And he give it to you, a little bit of it, in the beginning for your own good. See, we have to be able to do good with a little before we can get much. 24. For he looks to the ends of the earth, and he seeth under the whole heaven. For he looks to the end of the earth. Well, God knows the beginning and the end. In the beginning, he declares the end. Now, the end and the beginning are much the same. The end is the new beginning, and the beginning of the end even. God sees under the whole heaven. That's all understanding, all knowledge and wisdom. He sees it. He knows all about it. It's his creation. 25. When he maketh a weight for the wind, and meteth out the waters by measure. When he makes a weight, or sets the balance for the wind, he set a balance for the wind. Give it its circuit, even, and meteth out the waters by measure. And he meted out the waters by measure. Just how much water does it take by the last drop did he measure it out? Water's that understanding. See, that understanding that moistens or wettens the earth. God set the boundaries of it. God set the limits to it. God measured it out to the last drop. 26. When he made a decree for the rain and a way for the storm of thunders. When he made a decree for the rain. This decree, its circuit. See, its circuit of the rain, its decree, this ordinance. It set its boundaries, set its limits, said this is what you will do. This rain, these waters that descend onto the earth, these waters that come down even from God, this understanding that moistens the earth, causes things to live on it. See, this is the understanding of God. That's the true rain. And this way of the storm of thunders, this circuit that keeps going around, the direction even of these storm and thunders. God sets these things in motion. They're a similitude. See, all things have their circuit. All things have their circuit. Everything goes around and around it goes. This is the way God created things. Everything's, we can look into space. It's, what's the earth round? Moon's round, sun's round, the planets are round, everything goes round, round it goes. These are the wheels within the wheels. These are the things, these are the months, these are the seasons, these are the years. Circuits of the rain, motions of the ocean. It's all set. It all has its limits. 27. Then did he see it and declare it. He established it, yes. He searched it out. Then did he see it. That's when he seen it and declared it. He said, this shall be the way it is. He established it. He caused it to be. Yes, he searched it out. He had the knowledge. God had the wisdom. And he said, let make an example. Let us make it known. God made himself known. God made himself known by creation and by the understanding and the knowledge and the wisdom of it and all things that he gives. 28. Unto man he said, behold, the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom, and depart from it, and to depart from evil is understanding. Unto man, these ones of flesh and bone, these ones that have the word, these ones who speak, these ones who have knowledge, these ones who have understanding. Behold, and you can look and see, the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom. The fear, to reverence the Lord, to reverence God, to, like you would your father, to respect God, to, that's wisdom. See, that's wisdom, because we would find that would be an observance to God's ways, God's understandings. See, that which he gave you in the beginning, being the law or the Torah. See, that is the law. God gave it to you in the beginning. And to depart from evil is understanding. And to depart from evil is true understanding, because that means that you know the law. And that would be to depart from evil, to know the law, because when we see it, we turn. We go away from there. Why, we don't want to be found there. We don't want to be numbered there. We don't want to be associated with there. See? Turn from that. Go away from there. That would be to depart from evil. That is understanding. We're going to continue in chapter 29 with this parable of Job. Turn and return.